We're up to Ois Vav. So the Rebbe was discussing over here the two levels, the levels of Yisrain, uh, Oretz Bakoilhi, that in the level of Eretz, the Oilom in general, over there it has this level of Bakoil. But then there is a higher level, Melech Lasod Nevad. When it comes to the level of Sodeh, Gan Eden, which is mitzvahs la'avdol l'shamra, we do in Gan Eden, over there we get the level of melech. So up till now we were explaining the first level, the level in Malchus, in Chitzonius HaMalchus, as it is the Shoresh of the world in general, that it gets from the Sfiras Koil. He discussed that Koil is Yisoid, and he said further, not only is Koil Yisoid, but Koil also has the Chamishim Sharei Bina in it. It has the 50 gates of Bina. That's why Koil is Chof and Lamed equals 50. And the two aspects that we talked about, that one aspect is that Malchus is the Shoresh of the Nivroim, the constant Hamshoche that comes from Zot to Malchus. The Midos, they change. When they come to Malchus, they're no longer the same as they were before. But here we say that Kikoil Bashamayim Uvoretz. The Chiddush Yisrael, the Chiddush is that Kikoil, not Bashmaim, that Kikoil. I said Bashmaim, but I meant to say Yisrael Oretz Bakoil. The Chiddush is that it gets, Malchus gets from Yisoid, and it remains as it is without being changed. And why is that? Because that's the level where the midos are infused from moichin. Moichin is by themselves. So when it gets from Yisoid, the way it's infused by the moichin, which is for themselves, then the way they come down into Malchus, they stay potent as they were before, as opposed to when they only come from midas. Midas are shayches lezulus. And therefore, they come in a way in which they connect, they descend, they degrade when they come down to Malchus. But Kikoil, the Chiddush is that as is, because it's infused by Chamishim Sharibina. But all in all, after all this talk, what do we get out of it? We get out of it that the level of Koil that comes down to Shamayim, it's a pretty high madrege. It goes all the way up to the Moichin. It goes up to the Chamishim Sharei Bina. So now, that means that when we say Melech Lasod Neva, that you bring down the level of Melech, so that must be even on a higher level than that. So that must be higher than Hishtalshlus. Because even when we talk about Bina, that's still a part of Ishtalshlus. And now we're saying Melech is a greater level. That means that the level of Melech is even greater than, is a higher level than Ishtalshlus. But the Rebbe is going to add, here we're talking about Yisoid, is the level, has Sharei Bina in it. But the Rebbe says elsewhere, it also explains that Yisoid is the level connected to Soviv. The fact that Yisoid is the middle. You have Chesed to the right, Gevura to the left, Tiferes in the middle. Netzach to the right, Yisoid to the Hoid to the left, and Yisoid in the middle. And therefore, because it's the middle goes all the way to the top. It goes to Kesel. So in other places, it's explained that Kol is Kesel. If we're going to say Melech is higher than Bakoil, because that is the gilui through Torah mitzvahs, through mitzvahs, we get the level melech lasod nevad. When we work the field, when we do mitzvahs, l'avdul l'shomra, we get the level of melech. That means we get even higher than soivev, which means we get from pnimis hakeser, not only chitzonis hakeser. Let's look inside and we'll see. Oizvav. V'hinei gam hamoichin shelemaylo mishaychus lezulas heim bechlal seder ishtalshlus. Even the intellect that we had spoken earlier, that is, the intellect is for the person himself. It's above than having a connection to others. Midos, we say, are connected to others, and that's why the person gets emotional or gets impacted by others. Moichin is something which the person is for himself. So, even this level of moichin, but it's still part of the order of hishtalshlus. It's part of the 10 spheres. Is also the midas, also chokhmah bin das is part of hishtalshlus. So the higher level, v'hagilui de b'chinas melech ilo. So when we talk about the higher level, the revelation of the melech ilo, the supreme king, melech lasod de neva, the king of melech, shaydei kiyum ha-mitzvahs, which takes place through kiyum ha-mitzvahs, that we say melech lasod de neva. Which is higher than the level of koil. The koil comes down, Yisrain Oretz Bakoili. That's koil b'chlal Oretz. But the Sode mitzvahs get the level of melech. So we have to say hu l'maylo mi-hishtalshlus, that's higher than hishtalshlus. So the level that you get, the hamshochet that comes down to malchus, stam, comes only from the level of hishtalshlus, because it also goes through bina, even bina that is higher than shaykh zul, but it's still hishtalshlus. But when you talk about melech, you talk about a higher level than hishtalshlus. But the Rebbe says now that's if we say that Yisoid source is we're reached up to bina. But we see in other Maimorim over there we say that Yisoid is actually to Keser. If Malchus is higher, so Malchus has to be Pnimius HaKeser, Melech, but Southern never, you get Pnimius HaKeser, whereas Yisoid, Koil is Chitzonis HaKeser. L'hoisim, the Rebbe says to add, Tapi HaMevur B'mokom Achad, the base that we explained elsewhere, the Koil, Hu B'chinas Seivah. Also, we learn that koil is the level of soiver, not just the level of shari bina, nu chamishim shari bina, but the level of soiver. B'zeh yisoid nikra b'shem koil. Why do we call it koil? Why is yisoid koil? Hu lifi sheha yisoid hu b'kav ha'emtzoi. Yisoid is in the middle line, so you have, as we said, Tiferes is on top of it, and Chesed on the right, Gevur on the left, and Tiferes in the middle, and Netzach on the right, and Hoid on the left, and Yisoid in the middle. It's Kavem Tzoi. So the Kavem Tzoi is Shemagia B'Keser. So that's called Kol O, because it reaches all the ways to Keser. It goes to Soivev, to Soivev Hashemayim. And this is also what the pasuk says, ki koil b'shamayim u'v'aretz, that the level of koil, which is the level of yisoid, it's in the heavens and in the earth. It's both places. So what is the Targum translated? The achid b'shamayim v'ara. It's one in the heavens and in the earth. It's one. It's the same. Ki legabe hasovev Shemayim va'aretz heim b'shova. Because relative to this soiver, since Yisoid is an emtsoi, and Yisoid goes up to the level of Keser, and Keser circles, surrounds the Shemayim va'aretz, the higher and the lower levels, heim b'shova, they're equal. That's why it's called Koil b'shamayim va'aretz. The Achid, the word Koil means it unites the Shemayim va'aretz, meaning it's makif. That tells us. So now according to that explanation, that koil is makiv. And the pasuk says, Yisrael eretz bakoil he, that what Malchus has, the eretz, the chitzonius, Malchus gets the bakoil. And we have to say that the melech lasod and never is higher. Tzorich leimar. So then we need to say, Shagil uide b'chinas melech ilo. Shalidei kima mitzvahs, that the revelation of the level of the Supreme King, which comes through the observance of mitzvahs, which we tap into the level of melech when we do mitzvah l'sod nevat, and we do mitzvahs. It's also higher than Seviv. What could it be higher than Seviv if it's already surrounding it? But when you surround something, you still means you're surrounding. There's still that something that you're surrounding, which means it's the shoyrish, that's arich, chitzoni sakeser, which is shayches to oilamais. But this is pnimius hakeser, the melech ilod is pnimius hakeser. Tzorich loim, the soivev hu shayich loilamais. Soivev has a connection to the world. Elo, it's higher than them and includes them all as one. And this is what we say, he unites the achid, he unites in the shamayim and the oretz, meaning that there is shamayim, there is oretz, and kikoil is ma'achid, it's together. Shegam also, in relative to Seviv, there's also Shemayim B'Oretz. Elo shehu mechabrom u'ma'achdom. But this Seviv connects them, unites them. The Achid b'Shemayim V'Ara. He unites the Shemayim B'Oretz. That comes Bakoil. But what happens when you do mitzvahs? They get melech. They have mitzvahs. You draw down the revelation of the essence of the Ein Sof, which is higher than connection to the world, which is also higher than Seviv. As explained in the Maimer, the Hamshocha Shal Yidei Kiyum HaMitzvahs Hi Mipnimiyus HaKeser. What you draw down through mitzvahs is the inner keser. And the difference between the inner and the outer level of keser, atik or arich, is that arich is connected, it's soivev, has ishtalshlus under it, it's achid shemai voretz, and pnimiyus HaKeser, atik is removed. V'achiluk shebein arich chitzonis hakeser la'atik, which is pnimis hakeser, who the arich who shoyresh u'moker hanetzolim. Arich is the root and the source of the netzolim that was netzal, was separated from chitzonis hakeser. Elashu makif aleim soiver, but he is surrounding them, he is over them. But the atik Atik is this lower level in Matzil. It's beyond. It's not even connected to Shemayim B'Oretz. Ein Sof Shalamaylam Mishaychus La'Olam. It's Ein Sof which is higher than Shaychus La'Olam. So the Rebbe adds here that because the Maimorim explain that Kikoil is even higher than the level of Moichin, it actually taps into Keser. We have to say, therefore, that Amshocha to mitzvahs comes even from a higher place. Umevuar b'ha-maimer, so it's explained in the Maimer, that the Melech Ilo hu Tiferes. The Melech Ilo, that is the Midas HaTiferes. Ki the Isa versus Koil is Yisoid, and Melech Ilo Tiferes, ki the Isa b'Zoyar Shom, as the Zoyar says, Melech do Kudshabrichu. Melech is the level of Kudshabrichu. The Kuchabrichu B'chinas Tiferes. And Kuchabrichu is the level of Tiferes. And V'Tiferes Mamshich Mipnimiyus HaKeser. And Tiferes draws down from Pnimiyus HaKeser. So before we said that also Yisoid takes from Keser. But Yisoid takes from Chitzonius HaKeser, takes from Arich. And we said that Tiferes takes from Pnimius HaKeser, takes from Ati. Why is it that Yisoid, it seems like the reason for both of them, because Sai Tiferes and Sai Yisoid are in the Kav HaEmtsoi, they're the middle line. Tiferes is above Yisoid. And when you're in the Kav HaEmtsoi, is Mavriach min HaKotze LaKotze, it goes all the ways up to Keser. So why is Davke Tiferes reached to Pnimius HaKeser, to the level of Atik, and Yisoid, which is the Kav HaEmtsoi, only reaches into the level of Chitzonius Keser, into the level of Arich? He explains, V'yesh loymar, so we can say, Tiferes Davke, the fact that it's specifically Tiferes, that Mamshich Mipnimius HaKeser, that brings down from the inner of Keser, Av Shegam HaYisoidu B'Kav HaEmtsoi, even though also the level of Yisoid is in the middle line. So why can't it also reach up to Pnimius HaKeser, who the reason is Ki Chagas Heim Etzem Hamidis Unihi Heim Shal Yodom Hi Hashpoa Da Hamidis Chagas. In the 6 spheres that we have, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yisoid, there's 2 categories. There's the category of Chagas, the Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. Those are the midos themselves. The Ave, the Yira, all the midos are Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. That's the first category. Then you have the second category, Netzach, Hod, Yisoid, is that those midos give, or the hashpoah comes through Netzach Hod Yisoid. Chagas is the midah itself. Nehi, Netzach Hod Yisoid, is the hashpoah from the midas. B'lachein, hagilui de keser shal yidei ha-yisoid. So when we're talking about what comes from keser, what revelation of keser that comes from Yisoid, Shal Yodehi Hashpoah, because Yisoid is the one that is Mashpia, the Chesed Gvura. Hu B'chinas Shoyresh HaNetzolim. So it gets the Shoyresh HaNetzolim, which is Mashpia to the Netzolim, the Keser that is connected to those created beings. That's what it's Mamshir, because in essence, that's what Nihi is. That's what Yisoid is. It's to bring out to others. So therefore, it brings the level of Keser, which is also the source of Netzolim, to others, to be Matzah. But V'agilui de Keser shal yidei hatiferes shel l'maylo mehashpoah. But the Gilui of Keser that comes through Tiferes, but Tiferes is not the, that's the Etzem Hamidah. That's not the Nehi, that's the Etzem Hamidah. Ubchinas Mashpa, Ubchinas Pnimis HaKeser. Pnimis HaKeser, which is higher than being a source of Netzolim. It's the Darga Acharena from the Maitzil, from Darga Tachtoina of the Ein Sof. So that's why the Yisoid reaches into Chitzonis HaKeser, into Arich, and Tiferes reaches into Pnimis HaKeser. And the Rebbe is going to explain now how it also works in the Ein Sof Lifnei HaTzimtzum with the Tzimtzum Zayin. והנה ידוע ששני העניונים דממלא וסובב, These two aspects were Mamshich, Mamale, and Seviv, Shorsham hu ba'ir sof shalifnei hatzimtzum. They are rooted in the Eira Ein Sof, the light of the Ein Sof that was before the Tzimtzum. How are they rooted? The Oir HaGavul Shalifnei HaTzimtzum Hu HaShodesh the Oir HaMemale. The Oir that comes down limited, the Oir, the light of the limited light that is before the Tzimtzum, that's the Shodesh Oir HaMemale. So that Gvul, the light of limit, brings the Oir that fills the world. And the infinite light is the Shoyer Seviv. How does this help? There's a difference what the Tzimtzum did. They both come from before the Tzimtzum. There's a Oir HaGavul and there's Oir HaBligvul. And then from this comes through the Tzimtzum Memale Kol Almim and Seviv Kol Almim. What happened over here? How is the Tzimtzum in the Oir HaGavul versus the Oir HaSeviv? So he says like this: B'chilik bein Peulas HaTzimtzum b'Oir HaGavul. The difference between what the restriction, the Tzimtzum accomplished in the Oir HaGavul, which was Shodesh HaMemale, Up'ulas HaTzimtzum, and the act of restriction, B'Oir HaBligvul, B'Shodesh HaSeviv, who is like this. The Tzimtzum, the P'ulas HaTzimtzum B'Oir HaGavul, Hi B'Oir Atzmei. The act of restriction in the limited light is the light itself. The light that was Lifnei HaTzimtzum was restricted. That light became now a restricted light, which means Shal Yidei HaTzimtzum. What does the Tzimtzum accomplish in that Oir HaGavul Shel Lifnei HaTzimtzum? That through the Tzimtzum, Bo B'mido Gavul Liferech Ha'olamas, that it comes in a measure and a limit so that it fits the worlds. The Tzimtzum restricted and contracted that the light is no more there with the full force. And that becomes Memali Kol Almin, that fills all the worlds. That's the Pu'ula of the Tzimtzum in the Oir HaGavul. Shalifnei HaTzimtzum, that's what it did. But U'ulas HaTzimtzum b'Oir HaBligvul Hi. But what did the Tzimtzum accomplish in the light of Bligvul? Loir b'Oir Atzmai. It did not restrict the light. The Ein Sof did not become restricted. Elo shelo yoir b'mokim hachol. The restriction is not that the light became a lesser light, that it's not as strong anymore. It's the same Oir HaSeviv. The restriction means that it doesn't shine everywhere. Shelo yoir b'mokim hachol. That it doesn't shine in the place where the cholol, where the tzimtzum took place. And that brings it to the level of Seviv. This becomes the idea of Seviv that it surrounds. That the light does not shine in the world, which is the hollow place. Not revealed, but only in a way that it surrounds and obscure. It's not Begilun De'olamis. So Ba'al Yesh Loimar. So based on this, we can say, the Rebbe is explaining now. These two levels that is in the idea of Koil. Shal Yidei HaYisoid Hu Amshochas HaMidais VaHaMeichin. That through Yisoid Ki Koil, which is the level of Yisoid. So we spoke earlier that the Midos, the Zoh, and also the Bina, the Meichin, are Nimshach. And the second step we said, Shal Yidei HaYisoid Who am shochas hakeser, you get the level of keser. Yechid tzenitzek, we get keser. So, b'shorsham ba'orin sof shelifnei hatzimtzum. So when we go up a step in the root, the way it is in the Eirin Sof Livnei Hatzimtzum, heim oir ha'gavul, v'oir ha'bligvul. These are the two lights, the Sovev, the oir ha'bligvul, the Mamale, that's the oir ha'gavul. Those are the levels that are nimshach to the level of Malchus. Yisrain Eretz Bakoil, when you mamshich Bakoil, you mamshich the level of Oir HaGavul and Oir HaLigvul Shalifnei HaTzimtzum to Malchus. But, so what do we do? They kima mitzvahs, nimshach Oir Chodosh. So we have already all the light. So what does mitzvahs accomplish? Now there's a new light. Shaloi Heir Gam Koidem HaTzimtzum. It did not even shine. There was no light like that before the Tzimtzum. So what your mamshich melech lasod neva at the level of melech, meaning that you're bringing down a light which is higher than the gvul and the bligvul, than the sevev and the mamale, which means a new oir that wasn't there. Both of these oirs, side the bligvul and the gvul, have a shoirish in lifnei hatzimtzum. But mitzvahs bring down a new light that wasn't there before. V'zeu shelo lova yir shamayim chadoshim ve'eretz chadosha. That's why in the future to come, there will be a new shamayim and a new eretz. K'oz yizgalu kol ha'inyonim shenimshachim al yidei ma'aseinu v'avedeseinu achshav. Then there will be revealed all matters that we are doing now, our mitzvahs, our actions, our service to Hashem brings down new lights that wasn't even before. It wasn't even the Malachola, higher than Seva. So this is new light. So it's happening now, but we're going to see it in the future. Through which includes that new light that extends through the doing the Torah mitzvahs now. That will bring a renewal also in the world. Shemaim chadoshim v'aretz chadosha. That within the Shemaim and the Oretz, which is Hishtalshelus, there will be a new Shemaim and the new Oretz. Zeh shele'osid lovei yumshach ba'olam. Because just to bring down the Oir HaSovev that was Memale, originally it was there. That's not a real Chiddush. That was already there Metchila. It was already the Oir HaSovev. So to get that light, that wouldn't be a Chiddush. To get back that Oir. The Chiddush is, why is it Shemaim Chadoshim Oretz Chadosha? Because you're going to get back a new light that was never there before. The fact that in the future to come in the world will be the light of Ligvul, that was there before the Tzimtzum. That is not a real novelty, because it was already there. This light was already revealed in the place of the Cholol. It was only that through the Tzimtzum, the oil was removed. When that light comes back and extends again, it's not a true Chiddush because it was there before. The fact that in the future to come there will be a new Shamayim, a new Eretz, then will be a revelation of a new light, which extends throughout Torah mitzvahs. That wasn't even there before the Tzimtzum. So now this is a totally new oil. So what the Rebbe is trying to impress on us, what we're accomplishing to Torah mitzvahs when we do Torah mitzvahs today, that it's not only the blikvul, but it's actually a new Eir Chodesh totally. And the Rebbe explains that's why Losid Lavi will be a new Shemayim, because it's stuck as something new, not the return. And as the Rebbe explains, that whether it's Gavul or Blikvul, they were both Shorish before. The difference is Gavul had a Tzimtzum in itself, and the Eira Soivev, meaning that the Tzimtzum was removed, and therefore it became a Soivev. But it's still about lights that were there. But Torah Mitzvahs brings a light that was never there. Okay, we'll be mamshech.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Powerful words.